Welcome, nerds, to the Shoutout Show. I am apparently about to get schooled on how Jethro Tull has always been metal. Hello, nerds. Did you recently comment or subscribe or follow or DM or otherwise culturally engage in this conversation that we are having here or on any other platform where you can find my annoying voice? Well, if you did, then it's my turn to say hi back. This is the Shoutout Show. All right, that's right, nerds. Shoutouts is viewer mail. It's just a more hip way of saying viewer mail, and thanks for being awesome. Yeah. So, shoutouts this week. I must apologize before we get too deep into this. Apparently, in my notes, I deleted we got one person over on the Rumble that started following this week. And I don't know how, I don't have them in the notes, but I must have deleted them somehow. And so I'm going to have to give you a double shout out next week. I am sorry. But as far as new followers this week, people who have their settings set to public are Thuggish Luciano, or Luiciano, I think is how that might be pronounced. Thank you very much, nerd, for the follow. Over on the Clips channel, that is where the follow came from, and otherwise, number go up, but people have their settings set to private, so you don't necessarily want me to know who you are. That's totally fine. I appreciate you anyway. That being said, let's get into the viewer mail portion of things, shall we? Over on the main channel, we have the Tom MacDonald and Ben Shapiro reaction video to their song Facts. The title of the video was How Did This Get Missed? That's going to come into play in just a minute. I guess I should let you guys say hi to Nerdagon, because he's always very excited.
Oh, jeez. I really thought you forgot or something.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. It is what it is, but say hello to the folks at home there, Nerdagon.
Howdy, nerds. I am Nerdagon, the dragon you have all been waiting for.
Whatever that means. Okay, thank you very much, buddy. All right, so this week, talking about the Tom MacDonald Facts video, we have our first comment. It comes from timberwolfch, and Mr. timberwolfch says,
Yeah, I think somebody missed the fact that Tom sometimes wears things like that just to point out that people will spend more time being concerned about what he's wearing than what he's saying.
Okay, so this is basically just rehashing things from last week's shout-out video, but I think this is a little bit different because the last bit where he says, wears things like that just to point out that people will spend more time being concerned about what he's wearing than what he's saying. I feel like that's not the best way to phrase that, because I think the point he's trying to make is people will find him cool because he wears these things, and then not listen to the words that they ostensibly disagree with, right? So I think that's more the way that Tom and yes, I've already acknowledged the fact that I missed, apparently in an interview or in a song, I think somebody even said that he says explicitly that he wears bootleg gear in order to look cool for videos, and because that's kind of what helps get him in front of new eyes, is this dude's wearing Gucci, let's listen to this song because he's wearing Gucci. Like, that's as sad as that is, apparently that's the state of the average hip-hop listener, or average rap listener, I guess. You'd read the room, I guess, or the rest of the comment section at the very least. Then staying on this video, we have some stuff from someone calling themselves First World NomaD. This guy hit up the comment section on this video 3 times. So the first time he says,
It missed? How? It was trending #1 on pretty much every platform.
And then the second time he says,
It's so... Wait, I think he meant to curse here, but whatever. It's so fucking weird that Tom basically bragging about using fake brands somehow makes him even cooler.
Which, again, we just addressed and then also addressed last week. And then the third time, this is where there's actual conversation to have with this person. So third time he says this.
I don't agree tattoo count into materialism. They're not that expensive. Even fakking poor people have them. And considering it's a one-time cost for a lifetime quote-unquote accessory, was that the word you were looking for? They're actually very cheap. There is also no, quote, name brand tattoos in the same way there are name brand clothes. It's not generally a status symbol, but a way to express yourself or memorialize something. I get where you're coming from, and you have somewhat of a point in there, but I don't think it really reaches all the way.
I appreciate that you ceded a little bit of ground there to me, because yes, I think accessory was the word I was looking for, because I do remember not being able to find a word in that situation, but there absolutely are. I mean, it's different because it is a piece of art that's going on your body forever. But they're absolutely, I wouldn't say they're extremely cheap or very cheap or whatever the very in caps cheap. They vary from depending on the artist. And that's where the more designer thing comes from, is if you get an artist who charges you $50 an hour versus an artist who charges you $500 an hour, like the artist, you're gonna tell people who the artist was a lot more than talk about the piece if you spent $500 to get this person to tattoo your skin. I mean, like any one of the people who does the reality tattoo shows, all of those artists are going to charge you exorbitant amounts of money in order to get them to put ink in your flesh. So that, yes, I will agree that it's not a one-to-one comparison, but I think that wearing more, the point I was trying to make in the video is that having tattoos is a way of symbolizing a lot about yourself, and specifically wearing face tattoos is saying a lot, is trying to, and I'm walking on eggshells trying to get to exactly the point that I was trying to get to, and I honestly didn't rewatch the video, so I can't remember specifically, but I'm fairly certain that what I was trying to say was spending the money on a vanity item like a tattoo, and this is coming from somebody with tattoos. Like, I've got the little one that you can see, and then I've got a lot more that you can't. So something that is for vanity purposes, like a tattoo, whatever the other reason behind the tattoo is kind of irrelevant. Memorializing something or decorating your body, it's vanity. The decoration part is the point. You're trying to look, insert adverb, you're trying to look cooler, you're trying to look more hardcore, like there's many vain reasons why people get tattoos. I'm not above it. So I think that is more the point that I was trying to drive home, and not necessarily like, oh, he spent a bunch of money on tattoos, that means that he's trying to show off that he's rich, just like with the designer clothing. No, I don't. That's not an equivalency I was trying to make. The equivalency is a vanity equivalency. You spend a lot of money on your clothes, you spend a lot of money on your tattoos because you want people to see that you have these things. Does that make more sense? Yeah, so that's what we got for that. Let's get into, I think that's everything in the main channel. So then now we're moving over to the clips channel. We have last week's music section. The music clip is Jethro, Tull, Metal Now. Somebody's disagreed with me. That somebody is Jerma Chino, I think is potentially how that is supposed to be pronounced. And Jerma says,
I think it might be Yerma. Just saying. Well, you kinda got it wrong. Tull got a Grammy for not metal, but for, quote, hard rock, heavy metal. They were early influencers of hard rock, but unlike most bands today, they had a large variety of influences and were interested in, quote, music, unquote, in general. Listen to their superb Rock Float released this year. some wonderful metal guitarist, Joe Parrish James, who is leaving Tull after a few years to concentrate on his Albion project.
Yes, thank you, Nerdagon. Youre might also be more accurate, so maybe it's youre. Okay, so the name of the guitar player, Joe Parrish James, sounds a little familiar to me. And his Albion project is probably why, because I'm vaguely familiar with that. But there is, and maybe I just need to listen to more Jethro Tull to have a more accurate argument to make. But I don't know that you're ever going to be able to make the argument that they are metal. Yes, I will cede the ground that I misspoke. It was not best metal performance. It's best metal or hard rock performance. And even there, I think hard rock is a dramatic stretch of the imagination to put Jethro Tull, or at least the Jethro Tull I'm familiar with, into that category. They are not hard rock. They definitely are not metal. There have been plenty of metal musicians who have been in bands that don't make metal music. I'm very explicitly talking about Hank Williams III. Hank III is a country artist, actually, generally speaking, but he's been in metal bands. He has a metal band, and so like, just because the Joe Parrish guy has a metal band that he's going to focus on does not necessarily make all of the projects, therefore, that he works with metal. I mean, if you're talking about metal in sweeping broad strokes, then sure, maybe there's a possibility that there's something in some Jethro Tull somewhere that would quantify, but on the whole, they are a rock and roll band. They should have been in a very different category. They should have been in the pop rock category. They should have been in insert more appropriate category here, not competing and then beating out Metallica. Metallica, who is arguably the biggest band in the world when it comes to anything on that side of the scale for music. Metallica, who has literally one of their songs has inspired a whole freaking generation of metalheads. To say that Jethro Tull outperformed in any way, in any year, in this very specific genre of music, is you're trying to sell me Swampland in Arizona. Like, it's just not happening. So, yeah, I don't know that your definition aligns with the definition widely used by fans in the subgenre. Let's just put it that way, as diplomatically as possible. And then, boy, this one made me laugh a lot, actually. We're moving over to a different video over on the Clips channel, and that is the Rogue short, Rogue in X-Men 97. Reasonably nerdy. This one comes from Eric Richmond, and Eric Richmond says,
"You squandered the opportunity to say peaches to peaches comparison."
I'm so sorry. How perfect is that? It was right there. It was right there the whole time, and I totally didn't take it. It's because I don't script the episodes. I don't script what I'm saying. I just kind of fly off the seat of my pants. And that is a prime example of why I should do more scripting. I just don't have the freaking time. So yes, agreed. Peaches to peaches comparison would have been much more apropos for that video. And pardon me while I go flog myself for missing such a golden comedy moment. That being said, that is our shout-out show for the week, nerds. Thank you very much for joining. If you want to catch yourself here on the shout-out show, you want to join the conversation, the best ways to do that are to subscribe and follow on any and all of the social medias that you actively participate in, because I also actively participate in a good portion of them. And then leave comments. Let's literally have a conversation about the things. And whenever we go live, join in the chat on the live shows. I do my best to announce the live shows with enough notice so that people can join should they be so inclined. But yeah, that is how you join the conversation. Thank you very much, nerds, for joining me here. We're just gonna go now. Before we head out, always always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here, and I'm gonna shout you out.